A very good afternoon from the Perth Hockey Stadium, where the Premier 1 grade action is about to get underway as we see Vic Park taking on Fremantle, who are currently top of the ladder. But before we get into the action, we're going to hear from one of the Fremantle players who we caught up with earlier in the week, and that is James McPherson. Well, James, Fremantle off to a flyer again. It seems to be a regular occurrence in the league.
Yeah, it has been the last 3 or 4 years. We've been sitting pretty on top at this point in the season. We're obviously looking to keep it going, but I suppose the advantage of starting really well is their points bank, so you can't take them off us at the moment. So yeah, we're really happy. We wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, last season you had a problem with a couple of guys getting married. I mean, hopefully there's no weddings planned this year.
No weddings at this stage, which is great. Unfortunately, the natural progression of life is that the weddings lead to babies. So we've got a few gents expecting in the next month or so, but they'll just be turning up blurry-eyed and lack of sleep, which is fine. They'll be right.
Well, Matthew Butterini is obviously your player coach. I mean, he seems to have really stepped up from being a player into the coaching role with consummate ease, one would have to say.
Yeah, he has. I think that comes with being a fantastic hockey brain. We all know what an exceptional player and athlete Matthew was and still is, I suppose, at this level. But yeah, his coaching has really improved over the last 3 or 4 years. He's grown into the role. We love having him and he loves being around, which is great.
Who do you see as the main threats to you at the moment as you're sitting top of the table looking back on everyone?
We've played Hale and they got the better of us a couple of weeks ago. I think they're really young and exciting. Tim Deven obviously running around controlling that, and they've got some really good pickups. Wasps are an exceptionally strong side all across the park who are really in control of their game. That group's a successful group, having won a premiership a couple of years ago. And then you can never count out YM, unfortunately. And Jamie and Eddie running around there makes a huge difference for them as well.
Well, you are Freo through and through. I mean, your family been involved in the club for a long time as well. How much would it mean to go all the way this year?
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, it obviously, it'd mean a lot to me and the family, but it'd mean a lot to a lot of people in Fremantle as well. Obviously, moving down to Coburn next year, so with that comes a slight name change and maybe change in some colours. So to leave Stephen Street with another premiership would be amazing.
Well, let's hope you can have a really good farewell gift.
Yeah, it'd be lovely. It'd be nice. Thank you.
Thanks for your time and all the best for the season.
No worries. Thanks, Ashley.
That was James McPherson, the captain of Fremantle Hockey Club, who are about to do battle with Victoria Park. Fremantle currently top of the ladder, just dropped the one game so far this season when they lost against Hale. Vic Park is sitting in 7th place, who will be looking to try and get a win today just to stay in touch with those at the top of the ladder. Well, we turn our attention to the team lineups now and the players to look out for. Well, we have to mention Phil Hulbert wearing number 11 for Vic Park. It's his 450th game, and he has announced that he will be retiring after this game. So it's a magnificent achievement by him, the most capped player for Vic Park. And so he'll be a player that will be looking to go out on a high. I think Dom Hurd in goal is going to be very busy for Vic Park, wearing the number 13. 2 other new faces for the Vic Park starting lineup. And number 31, Jacob Smith, the New Zealander, played international hockey for the Black Sticks, and this will be his first game for Vic Park. And also Daniel Cope, a youngster who's come up from the lower ranks and the under-18s, who'll be making his Premier Grade debut, and he'll be hoping that it is a game to remember. Turning our attention to the Fremantle lineup, well, congratulations to Matthew Butterini, who became a father this week. He is the player coach for them, and again is a very key player wearing the number 17. Also, we need to look out for some of the other key players for them. Nicholas Tate played for Western Australia against India in that 2-0 loss, wearing the number 9 shirt. And Daryl McCormick, who is a club legend in the Fremantle region, again, will be a rock for them. So it's going to be a really interesting game. And the key thing, actually, I didn't mention there, is Johan Durst finally got clearance to play, even though he played for the Kookaburras last night. So that is a really good win for Fremantle, because Durst was in outstanding form against India. when he was under the bar playing his second and third test matches for the Kookaburras. Well, it should be a fascinating game. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to bringing you all of the action from today's match. And if we turn our attention to how the games went in previous years, well, interestingly, in both 2017 and 2018, it was Vic Park won one game and Fremantle won one game. And there was very little to choose between the two teams, because in April 2017, Vic Park won 3-2, and in July, Freo won 1-0. And then in April 2018, Freo won 3-2. And in August, it was Vic Park won 1-0. So we've had 2 games of 3-2, 2 games of 1-0. Let's hope that today we're going to get another 3-2 thriller, because that would really make it exciting. But Vic Park, as I mentioned, they have had a mixed season. They're currently sitting 7th spot, 1-2, drawn 3, lost 2. They would have loved to have turned those draws into victories had they been able to. They drew with Reds, they drew with Curtin, and they drew with Westside Wolves. Last week they had a loss to YMCC, and so they would really like to get back with some points this week. But it is going to be a real challenge against the top team at the moment, Fremantle. And as we heard from James McPherson, Fremantle playing their last year in the black and white, and also their last year in Fremantle, as they've got a new turf down in Coburn and will be moving down to that region. And there will be a slight name change now. Traditionalists will not like that, but obviously that's just the way of modern sport these days. And it will bring a whole new catchment area, a whole lot of more talent. And the fact that they will have an artificial turf in their home ground will no doubt attract a lot of players to the region. Well, the players coming off now after their warm-up. They will be lining up, and we will be getting proceedings underway very shortly. Make sure you don't go anywhere, because this promises to be an absolute cracker of a match. I should just mention that Vic Park are coached by Jason Butcher. Jason Butcher, High Performance Director for Hockey WA. And he was the coach for Western Australia when they played against India and went down by 2-0. And as I did touch on, Fremantle currently coached by Matthew Butterini. Matthew Butterini, who has been in Western Australia for a while now, when he was playing for the Kookaburras. And he was coaching Southern River before. He was poached by Fremantle, coached them to the Premiership in 2011, has really enjoyed his time with Fremantle. And I'm sure he would love to coach them to a Premiership if he could. Our umpires for this match are Carl Mueller and Paul Skippings. So can Fremantle continue their winning ways? Can they remain top of the table? They're currently sitting on 18 points. Wasps in second with 15, YMCC with 15, and Hale with 15. So it is a very tight league ladder at the moment. And Fremantle, as we heard before, have been in this position before, and sadly last season a few weddings took away key players at key moments in the season. No weddings this year. And Phil Hulbert will be wearing the captain's armband today for Vic Park. Before today, he had actually captained his team 238 times. This will be 239 out of 450 games. That's quite an achievement. As suddenly the players line up down below us and make their way out to the centre. And what a fitting walk it is for Phil Hulbert, and we'll be hearing from him at half-time. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We have a quick chat with him about his career and his time with Vic Park. I'm not sure what that's about. We've just seen Hayden Vaitakanis come running on and just telling one of his teammates, I think it was Aidan Lowe's, that he's not starting. Well, that is as per the team sheet, so maybe there was just a little miscommunication before the players came out for the start of this match. So it is the Vic Park Panthers about to do battle with the Fremantle Magpies. So Vic Park taking up position. The umpire's just checking the nets. And then we will be able to get proceedings underway. Bit of a chill wind blowing across the Perth Hockey Stadium at the moment. The temperature seems to have just dropped suddenly as the shadows start to spread across this wonderful venue here at Curtin University. Whistle goes and time to get the match underway. Butterini on the ball immediately. And I mentioned that his wife gave birth just in the last couple of days, a son, Henry. So, Henry Butters, as Butterini's nickname is. It's got a very British feel to it. Immediately on the attacker, Fremantle, Kieran Abbott is the player penalised. And you can expect the noise levels really to lift for this one. I mentioned Fremantle on top at the moment. Vic Park have 9 points, so they're 9 points behind Fremantle. But the important thing for them is just above those top four are Wolves on 12 and Melville on 11. So a win today would really put them back up amongst the top teams. Good break forward from Butterini. Butterini into the circle and along the baseline. Long corner conceded by Vic Park. Fremantle certainly showing that they are going to attack. McPherson comes back to the reliable Darryl McCormick. Comes to McCormick again. He's got a little bit of space to advance in. Looks to slide that one, and that was lifted into the knee. That would have been painful. Sasha Thomas took the full brunt of that one, but he's just managed to jog it off. I know it's Phil Hulbert's day, but the Vice President of Fremantle, Matt Allen, should give him a little bit of a shout out. He played his 250th game for the club today and scored in a 1-1 draw in a grade that he didn't want us to mention. But still, 250 games for the club is a good achievement. 200 to go before you can catch up with Phil Hulbert. And there he is on the ball. Sasha Thomas now looking to just cut infield, and Yuran Marat is the player penalised. There's plenty of noise coming down on the pitch, plenty of talk. Just watching the bench having a chat with their Japanese import, Vic Park, Miyo Tanamitsu. Cormick again, now being closed down, that time by Jacob Smith, the New Zealander. Gabriel sliding to try and steal possession, did well, but it's back with Fremantle. Ball now falling to Riley Falls. Falls, who made his debut in the Premier Grade last season. One of the young guns coming through Fremantle. It's actually his birthday today, Riley Falls. He turns 20, so everybody's celebrating something today. And happy birthday to Riley Falls. On the ball now. McCormick. Just trying to see what's available. He's got over 300 games under his belt for the club. It's a great pass and a good save in the end made by Dom Hurd. A long corner for Fremantle. Butterini self passes, just pushes the ball wide. Cracked towards the goal it was by Josh White. Butterini again on the 23-metre line. There's plenty of movement coming out of the circuit. It was a good run coming from Declan Spencer. Cormick certainly making Jacob Smith work. Short pass is a good one to McPherson, but his pass goes harmlessly out of play. So Hulbert taking his first breather of the match. And I have to say, he looked a little bit relieved to be coming off. I think maybe the emotion of the day taking its toll as Tanamitsu carries forward for Vic Park. One back again in the midfield by Butterini, sorry. And Vic Park a little bit upset. Certainly Andrew Vaitakanis, who thought his tackle was clean. So Butterini. So no Simon Orchard at the moment for Fremantle. Also Flynn Ogilvie not playing today as well. Ogilvie again, who played in the test match against India yesterday. And it's deemed a little shove in the back that time from Aidan Lowes. So another free hit to Fremantle. Butterini carries forward, just pushes into the path of McPherson. Cross the top of the D. That's just where you want the passes to be played. Unfortunately for Fremantle, it went behind Declan Spencer. So many teams pushing players up towards goal, and that was again cracked with some pace forward, and Lowes very nearly got it under control, and he got in round the back behind McCormick. An interesting first 5.5 minutes. Fremantle have tried to attack, and that's a misdirected pass, and Durst comes out of his goal, uses his stick, goes back into his circle. So he prevented the long corner, and McCormick keeps the ball in play, pushes it forward. Will run through to Shane Benfield. Bircher, good pass from him to Tanamitsu. Bircher again. There's a chance for Vic Park now. It's a good break forward. Smith into the circle he goes, was trying to pick out Tanamitsu and claiming there was a foul, but it's going to be a long corner. Brodie Sarr just leaving the ball there for James Collins. James Collins, who came through the junior ranks at Fremantle before switching to Vic Park. Good anticipation coming out of defence. Brodie Sarr, short pass infield to Tanamitsu. Goes back to Brodie Sarr. Into the sunlight they go. James Collins. So McCormick just taking it forward. Both teams rotating the substitutes. That was almost a very good deflection there from Josh White. In fact, I thought it was Kieran Abbott, not Josh White. My apologies. Kieran Abbott, a little bit taller than Josh White. So the pace just slowing down momentarily, and it's given away by McCormick. Smith into the circle, reverse stick, got underneath it, but lifted it over the crossbar. So the first real chance of the match, and Jacob Smith in his debut match over the bar. Riley folds, dispossessed, good tackle coming in from Sasha Thomas. Vaitakanis finding Smith again, and now it's his brother, Andrew Vaitakanis. Aidan Lowes again on the back stick, just getting underneath it and just chipping it across the face of goal. Just needs that final ball to be a bit better. We've got two balls on the pitch, so need to get rid of one of those. Jacob Smith, the New Zealander, I remember commentating him at the Sultan Aslan Shah Cup in 2013, as that's a good steal from Vic Park and Bradley Clark. Made his debut actually at the 2012 Champions Trophy, and it was the current Australian coach Colin Batch that gave Jacob Smith his debut. Butterini collects in the midfield now for Fremantle. And Fremantle, when they go forward at pace. Ball just held up there by Nicholas Tate. Nicholas Tate, who played for Western Australia in that game against India. Certainly had plenty of vocal support from the Fremantle fans here when he played for Western Australia. He was getting a cheer every time he got on the ball. And he looked to steal the ball there, but not by fair means. So Benford just carries it forward a few metres. We're about to go into the final 5 minutes of what has been a fascinating 15 minutes. Game has gone one way, then the other. Vic Park have probably looked more cohesive on the counter-attack in the opening 10 minutes. Pressure applied there as Ben Taylor went back to Benford. It's a really narrow pass, but Gabriel did really well to keep it in play. Unfortunately, his ball down the line looking for Aidan Lowes, though, went straight to McCormick. As Fremantle come forward, just acknowledge our sponsors, FMG, New Force in Iron Ore, Ausdrill bringing more to mining. And of course we've got Danks Furniture, Tiger Turf and Kookaburra, and we thank them for their support of the live streaming, not only this season but last season as well. As Brodie Sarr breaks forward, feeds it to Jason Gabriel. Gabriel almost first time, looked as if it caught the foot of McCormick as he hung his head in disappointment. And it is the first penalty corner of the match, and it goes the way of Victoria Park. The big question is, can they turn this into a goal? It's a really good opportunity for them. They drew blanks last week and the week before, so they'll really be hoping that this is the time when suddenly they can get it all to click. Jason Gabriel makes his way down to the baseline. Tanamitsu is at the top of the circle. Brodie Sarr still giving instructions. Also there is Ben Taylor. Ben Taylor at the second battery, and then lurking as well is Sasha Thomas. Sasha Thomas just moving out now, and Brodie Sarr turning around. So it goes to Tanamitsu, takes a deflection off the first runner. Good running by Chad Giles. Came out very, very quickly, closed it down. Vic Park play on, in it goes, deflections everywhere. Durst watched it all the way. Rebound comes out to Aidan Lowes. Lowes now into the circle along the baseline, claiming he was obstructed as the ball rolls over the baseline. Umpires having nothing of it. So for a second it looked good sustained pressure for Vic Park. And to be fair, Tanamitsu got plenty of pace on his drag flick, but it was just good running from Chad Giles. As we see good running now in the forward line for Fremantle. Stefan Mutet, who made the good run in the forward line. Stefan Mutet, who played for Trinidad and Tobago in the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Hails from Port of Spain. Smith. Brodie Sarr, and Sarr, good 3D skills just to lift it over the stick into the path of Smith. Smith, what defence coming across. Penalty corner given. Now Nathan Lawler, the player, penalised, and it was a good defensive attempt, but it was just a little bit poorly executed. But some would say he did his job and he prevented Smith from having a shot, and now they can get numbers back to defend the penalty corner. So once again, Gabriel goes down to the baseline. Tanamitsu waits at the top of the circle alongside him. Jacob Smith, I'm not sure Jacob Smith is going to be the preferred option. Smith is at the first battery, Tanamitsu at the second. They do in fact go to Smith. He sweeps and it's a good save, good flick, and Durst saving with his mitt in his left hand. Brodie Sarr, in it goes, and up it goes off the stick. Danger this time again, so good work from Sasha Thomas rather, and it's another penalty corner. Jason Butcher just giving the instructions down below to Ben Taylor, who jogs to join the huddle and tell them what they're going to use. Gabriel, here's who he's got to push to, and turns abruptly, makes his way to the baseline. So Smith again is there at the first battery. Tanamitsu at the second. Goes to Smith. Didn't get a good flick that time, and what a save from Durst. Well, that was outstanding to deny Daniel Cope, and what a start to his Premier Grade career that would have been if that had gone in. Well, Cope really getting a good shot from close range away, but Johan Durst capable of keeping it out of his goal. So the two debutants have really had an impact early. We saw Jacob Smith shoot over the crossbar, and now we've seen Cope force a brilliant save from Johan Durst. And a little bit of pushing and shoving, and umpire just moving in. And as you would expect, James McPherson looking as innocent as ever. Taylor, good pass from him. And a rather wild swing that time from Sasha Thomas. A good spell of pressure from Vic Park, but now there's a chance as they break forward. Viran Marat trying to combine in the forward line with Declan Spencer. It'll be a Fremantle ball. Marat takes it quickly. Good block, and over the baseline it goes for a long corner. Two balls again on the pitch. The short pass is played to Batterini. Batterini, though, being forced away, and eventually free hit goes Vic Park's way. Well, that is one of the good things about this Premier Grade at the moment, is it is every week is a tough game. Batterini plays on quickly. Good tackle, takes it away from him from Brodie Sarr. It's given straight away, and good restraint shown there by Josh White as the hooter goes for the end of the first quarter. Plenty of excitement, no goals, but make sure you stay with us because I'm sure there are going to be some goals. At the first break, it's Vic Park 0, Fremantle 0. Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. Fremantle still in a huddle. Whilst they've got about 20 seconds to get back out there. Finally that breaks up. Simon Orchard doing a lot of the talking down below. He is another one of the players who got married last year, and his wife Airlie expecting a baby in June. So we hope everything goes well with that. And the hooter goes for the second quarter to get underway. The whistle goes now, and Fremantle get it underway with Nicholas Tate. Who's going to break the deadlock in this match? It's a little feisty down there, and you just wonder whether we're going to see a real boil over. Obviously Vic Park trying to honour Phil Hulbert in his 450th and last game. Played his 400th game against Westside Wolves in April 2016. Made his debut all the way back on the 25th of March 1998. Seems such a long way away. Sasha Thomas plays it forward. Gabriel, good run into the corner. Faced with Riley Folds. Gabriel pushes it past him, but runs harmlessly into the circle and carried out of defence. Pass was just a little bit short coming out of defence from Josh White, and now his team in a bit of trouble. Sasha Thomas again over the ball for Vic Park, plays it wide. Tanamitsu kept that one low off the stick of McCormick, long corner. Played on very quickly and again slid in. What a deflection, is it gone in? Well, it has gone in. Jacob Smith, I think, is the man who's going to get the credit, whether Brodie Saar got the final touch, but Smith was perfectly placed and got the touch as the ball was played in by James Collins. And it is Vic Park leading by 1-0. Just a question mark as to whether Brodie Saar got the final touch. But that is just what Vic Park wanted. 2 minutes into the second quarter. So Fremantle are going to have to come from behind if they're going to get a victory today. And that will annoy the coaching staff. Matthew Batterini and Simon Orchard, and straight away on the attack they come, and off his goal line, but unfortunately it ricocheted up into the player. So Dom Hurd is now going to have to be on his mettle. Fremantle with their first penalty corner of the match. Well, this will be an interesting challenge now. McPherson making his way down to the baseline. Top of the circle, waiting. Nicholas Tate. And alongside Tate, tall figure of Abbott. It's gone to Tate. Tate flicks. Great running by the first runner, which was, I think it was Benful. Yeah, it was Shane Benful who got his feet in the way of it. So Tate denied. Lucas Tate, who switched from Melville to Fremantle in 2018. Another product of the Como Secondary College. And it's either the long straw or the short straw, if you look at them. Kieran Abbott, the tall, and next to him, Nick Tate. Switch again, they go to Tate. Tate flicks, didn't really get hold of that. It's broken well. Butterini, brilliant save from Hurd. He's conceded another penalty corner, but that was a superb save by Dominic Hurd. So will it be third time lucky for Fremantle? Everybody gathering around Kieran Abbott. And just a little whisper between the two players, Tate and Abbott. Abbott again moves to the left. They may just slip it to him. They do indeed. It gets under his feet. Good save again from Hurd, and jumping high to bring that one down with Spencer. And it wasn't deemed dangerous, so good defence by Vic Park, and they managed to come away from those three penalty corners without conceding. They can take a lead into half-time. They'll be over the moon. Tanamitsu just letting that one run underneath his stick. The ball from the side for Riley Folds. Goes back. And there's something going on in the middle of the pitch. I think that was between Butterini and it looked like it was James Collins. So the free hit went the way of Butterini. So it might be worth just keeping an eye on that one. Collins and Butterini. There's still words being exchanged between the two. number 30 and the number 17 for Fremantle. There is Collins. Butterini stealing it away from him. Butterini doesn't get into the circle. It was good defence in the end. I think it was from Bircher. Tanamitsu couldn't keep that in play. Abbott gets a free hit for his side. Butterini just being told to bring the ball back. Butterini south passes. He will back himself. It caught Tanamitsu's foot as he was low down, almost on one knee. Ball comes back now to Nathan Lawler, goes all the way back to McCormick. McCormick shaped to go back to Lawler, then advanced himself. Gabriel, good defensive work by him coming back and forcing McCormick to go backwards. McPherson, good pass from him, a lovely little touch from Marat. Marat waits on the baseline, but Fremantle instead go back to the halfway line. So certainly there's lots of talk from Vic Park as they try to keep their shape. It was played off the feet of Jason Gabriel. Desperation from Benfield, picked up by Abbott, played into the danger zone, but good defence coming from Bradley Clark. Gabriel, good pass from him, picks out Sasha Thomas. Smith keeps it alive for Vic Park. Break forward again from Collins. It was Collins' ball into the circle that led to the opening goal. Benfield, Collins again. Goes the direct route. That was almost a very, very good pass. And he got the thumbs up from Jacob Smith. Smith just checked his run at the wrong moment if you're a Vic Park fan. Slipped from Marat, but he still gets the pass forward to Tim Bottler. Tim Bottler, tricky player. He's represented Australia at floorball and regarded by many as one of the top strikers in floorball for a while in Australia. Breaks at the top of the circle and a wild swing that time from Stefan Moutet. There's applause down below from the Vic Park bench. That was a great steal. Really good play from Moutet again. Good determination, but look at Vic Park applying the pressure, really strong pressure. Lawler did very well, and that's a great pass to pick out Butterini. Still with Fremantle as Nicholas Tate now advances. He's being pursued by Phil Hulbert. Across the face of goal it went, long corner, almost directly opposite the goal. And it wasn't taken from anywhere near where it crossed the baseline. Umpires allowing that one to go. Now that could be crucial later in the match if they don't allow it. Good steal. And that's good work being done by Sasha Thomas. Benfield goes to the air. Watched all the way onto his stick by Josh White. Butterini. I thought he turned Hulbert. Hulbert penalised in the end. Hulbert though blocking that one, but it's still going to be a free hit. Hulbert well aware. Hulbert, who, as we said, this will be his last match. It would be great victory. He's won 2 premierships with Vic Park in 2008 and 2012. He's also won 2 Olympians medals, which is the highest honour in Western Australian hockey. Now Gabriel, a little bit of space for him to advance. Gets the pass away into the circle, turn, and the shot on the turn coming from Hayden Veitakanis, but unfortunately never really got the control on his shot that he would have hoped for. Just skewed off his stick as his feet moved as he shot. Moutet, And goes back to Riley Folds. Murat helps it down the line. Lovely little turn from Bottler, cutting in from the sideline. Eventually dispossessed though by good work from Taylor. Aidan Lowe's just pushes it out wide now, and Vic Park have got numbers forward. Riley Folds trapped at the edge of the circle but couldn't keep it in play, so long corner again, this time for Vic Park. Comes across to Taylor. Helped further down the line by Daniel Cope. There was a bump inside the circle there from Vaitakanis, and Folds hit the turf. It's really not much in that, to be honest. It was hip to hip. Moutet receives that brilliantly, and that was a superb block, even if it did just catch his body afterwards from Ian Bircher. Bircher, who hails from Albany originally, down in the southwest. Started playing his hockey when he was 5 years old, Ian Bircher. McPherson. We're just about to go into the final 5 minutes now of the first half and the second quarter. Harrison Kamer plays it back. McCormick again. Folds. And Murat just couldn't get his feet around it, but it will be a free hit for the stick check out on Riley Folds just as he made the pass. Folds, two players in front of him, plays it off Aidan Lowe's. Lowe's tries to spin, Folds gets a touch, and Vic Park let it run over the baseline so that it will be a 16. That's the first time we've featured the Fremantle side in the live stream this year, and they're certainly delivering some excitement in this match. Tanamitsu steals it away from Moutet. And Murat, ooh, a little bit of tempers fraying down there. Collins faced with Murat, just dinking the ball forward. Unfortunately for Jacob Smith, it ran away from him. McPherson was given a shout very, very late that Smith was coming, breathing down his collar. Harrison Kamer doing well. Pass is a good one forward, looking for Declan Spencer. Hulbert finds Gabriel. Gabriel with his back to goal. Oh, that's good skills. Got rid of two players there. Plays it square into the circle. Free hit has been given outside of the circle. Vic Park not happy. They wanted the penalty corner. Brody Saar was, I think, being told to bring the ball forward, and he goes, let's just get on with the game. And that's what he does. Bircher. It's a short pass from him. Tanamitsu is free wide, but instead it's a deflection off Riley Folds as the ball was played by Taylor to Andrew Vaitakanis, and McCormick deflects over the baseline for a long corner to Vic Park. The shadows lengthening here at the Perth Hockey Stadium as the ball comes on from the left-hand side. Will be James Collins to play the ball forward. Bircher. Benful now. And Benful with the pressure from Stefan Moutet. Missed his teammates further forward. Tanamitsu on the line, and Andrew Vaitakanis just infield. 2 minutes now until the half-time break, and having to scurry back and keep that in play was Riley Folds. McPherson scoops it forward to Badarini. Badarini fires it down the line. Tate keeps that in play. Lovely turn from him, but Benful, good defence from him, matching what Tate had to offer. Shane Benfield, originally from Wyalla in South Australia, but very much calls Western Australia home. He's another player that actually took part in the floorball, played for the Western Wolves, rather. McCormick just slowing things down for Fremantle. Trailing at the moment by that one goal conceded right at the start of this quarter. They may get an equaliser before half-time, but if they're going to get it, they're going to have to hurry up. Benfield comes across, plays it infield. Good skills again from Brodie Sarr, just taking him away from Chad Giles. Vic Park will try and eat as much time, I would think, as they can, and Benfield just plays it down for a 16. Fremantle do play on quickly, and Vic Park had just gone to sleep a little bit. Aidan Lowe's being absolutely bellowed at as he was just standing in the shadows, and had just maybe let his concentration wander for a moment. Had to get back and get into shape defensively. So Butterini looking to bring that aerial pass down, didn't manage to do so, and that may well be the last play of the first half. The hooter goes. It is indeed the final play of the first half, and what a first half it's been. It's been exciting, but it is Vic Park leading at half-time. Vic Park 1, Fremantle 0. Well, as we said, there's a big game today, and it is the 450th game for Vic Park's veteran player, Phil Hulbert, and also his last game, and we caught up with him just before the first whistle.
Okay, well, Phil, what a memorable day it's going to be for you today. I bet you didn't think that all those years ago, back in '98, that you'd be playing 450 games for Vic Park.
No, definitely not. I was happy to get one, to be honest. So, yeah, very, very proud of getting to this achievement, yeah, with 450.
A record for the club, and I mean, you've now decided that you're going to retire. Is that an easy decision, or was it a difficult one?
Difficult and half forced. Just the body just couldn't take it anymore. I knew in the YM game that just couldn't run it out, unfortunately. So I did know last year that this injury was pretty serious, and recommended not to play top level sport anymore. So to be able to go on for an extra year in a little bit, I've given it everything. So yeah.
Well, the one thing you did say when you reached 400 you've been pretty much injury-free throughout your career, so that's really helped you along the way, hasn't it?
Yep, certainly. I didn't, up until around that point, I hadn't missed any game through injury or illness or holidays, just a couple through 2 weddings, and the rest were for thunderstick stuff, so yeah, that's probably why I got there a bit quicker than most.
Well, you've won 2 premierships with Vic Park. You've also won 2 Olympians medals. Is it easy to choose which one was more memorable, or are they all pretty special?
They're all special. The premierships, obviously, the reason why you play team sport is to be part of a team, and you invest so much into that. So they always sit a bit higher. I suppose the 2011 one, that season was particularly memorable for me though as well, with coaching the girls first grade. They were bottom the year before and made the grand final that year, and we made the grand final, but unfortunately, if we won both of them, it would have been the perfect year, but we didn't, so the premiership still sit higher. Yeah.
Now, if we look, you started '98. Do you feel the competition has changed and evolved in that time?
Oh, very much so. You'd probably find a lot of 30-plus guys in '98 and up until in the 2000s, but it's a much quicker game. Autoplay off, and offside was probably in there, but this was still in there. Those sorts of rules have just really sped the game up a lot. So,
now, just in maybe a couple of words, what does Vic Park mean to you, having played so many games for them?
Oh, Vic Park's my life. That's pretty much how I'd describe it. Growing into it with my dad being a life member, I had no choice but to play hockey, to be honest. It would have disowned me. It's just followed in a lot of my dad's footsteps in some respects. Yeah.
And finally, we believe that Gemma, your wife, has been very supportive over the years and let you keep playing. So maybe a quick word for her to keep her on side.
Yeah, no, she's been great. It's never whenever I say, it's basically I go to her and say, oh, listen, Butcher's spoken to me and I'm going to play again this year, and never a barrier at all. She just makes it work. So she's been great. She's had to learn to love Vic Park as well. She was originally with Wasp, but if she's going to be my partner, she knew she had to play for Vic Park. That's it.
Well, fantastic, Phil, and we wish you all the best, and congratulations on a wonderful achievement.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Perth Hockey Stadium. Well, we hope you enjoyed that little interview with Phil Hulbert, who, as we mentioned, playing his 450th game for Vic Park. The final, well, that's a record for Vic Park, but also it's his final game, as in the end the injuries he's sustained in recent times, meaning that he's just got to hang up his stick. But congratulations to him, and we would like to acknowledge our sponsors, FMG, Osdrill, Danks Furniture, Tiger Turf and Kookaburra. Kookaburra, hockey's #1 partnership. Well, Fremantle are not out there as we're waiting to get the second half underway and the third quarter. Trailing by 1-0 at the moment. They were just standing in the shade at the far end. Vic Park already out there ready to get the game underway, and who can blame them, seeing as they have the lead at the moment, just waiting for the whistle. Flynn Ogilvie down on the bench along with Simon Orchard doing coaching duties. McCormick suddenly runs out from the bench. And they do have the 11 players. Just for a moment, I was worried that Fremantle may have had an extra player. Chad Giles gets it under control. I just wonder when teams are a bit raggedy as they come out for the second half, whether they possibly are not quite focused enough. But that was good play again by Harrison Keema. Good run towards the circle, but also equally good defensive play from Vic Park. And that was just dinked onto the foot. Good work from Sasha Thomas. Are Fremantle going to find a way through this defence, which at the moment has looked very solid for Vic Park? Jacob Smith breaks away. Stolen back by Josh White. He's certainly getting physical out there. Abbott slides in. Eventually just goes out of play just inside Vic Park's half. Collins, who's had an influence on this match against his former club. McCormick flicks it over the top, and Tate so close to bringing that under control. Bradley Clark goes back to Benfull. Benfull, all his body weight behind that one as Josh White collects. Fremantle trying to come forward now. McPherson, and he's trying to push that into the path of Tate, but it was good pressure again coming from Hayden Vaitakanis, limiting the options for McPherson. Sasha Thomas again avoiding 2 challenges and a third. He's breaking forward, releases the ball now to Jacob Smith. Smith going into the circle, collides with McCormick, and it's Smith that's penalised. McCormick, in fact, it was Abbott that stumbled as the ball was trying to be retrieved. No complaints from Jacob Smith, who actually had a spell playing in the Australian Hockey League back in 2013. Played for the Southern Hotshots, South Australian team, along with Joe Bartholomew, another Black Sticks import, who worked with me on the Pro League commentary down in Christchurch earlier this year. And Bircher just easing the pressure, playing the ball up the far end. Once again, Fremantle trying to just up the tempo a little bit and force Vic Park to make some mistakes. Just the one defeat so far this season for Fremantle. That was against Hale. They got off to a really good start, beat UWA 4-0. North Coast Raiders 5-0. Almost a mistake from Benful, under pressure from Riley Folds and Tate. And then beat Melville 4-2, beat Reds 2-0, and beat Curtin 4-0 before they had a surprise 2-0 loss to Hale. They also beat Old Guildford 3-1. So only conceded 6 goals before today, now 7. Scored 22 all up. Well, that was not a very good challenge coming in from Jacob Smith. I don't think McCormick would have appreciated that at all, and he's in fact having a word with the umpire, saying surely that warranted a green card. Abbott gives chase, but it just bounces away from him and out of play. So Fremantle need to find a goal from somewhere. That was watched all the way. Brought down well. Batterini. Marat now. Marat faced with Vaitakanis. Gets the free hit, and he's saying, well, Vaitakanis knocked the ball away. McPherson, though, plays on, plays it into the shins of Aidan Lowes. McPherson again. Ball must go 5 metres. It's inside the 23-metre line, so McPherson self-passes, gives it to Batterini, edge of the circle. Great skills, Batterini, and he's won a penalty corner. In the end, the foul coming from Benful. So Fremantle, their 4th penalty corner, and a chance now to get level on the scoreboard. Declan Spencer's had 2 goals from penalty corners. Batterini 2 from penalty corners as well in the league so far. Boy, they could do for a goal from one of those 2 right now. McPherson makes his way to the baseline. Batterini moves over to the left-hand side. Abbott is there, and alongside him on his right shoulder is Tate. So McCormick doing the stopping. It's going to be Tate again. Tate goes into the first runner, but Batterini in the end beats Hurd as it ricocheted to him. And Batterini, the player coach, has brought his team level. And it was just what Fremantle needed. And so they will be very happy with that. Vic Park will be extremely disappointed. The first runners had done their job, but the ricochet, good advantage played by the umpires, we have to say. So a good start for the second half for Fremantle. They're back on level terms. Are they going to spoil Phil Hulbert's day? Not if Jacob Smith has anything to say about it on his debut. What a pass that was, almost getting all the way through to Aidan Lowes. Lowes gets it now, slides it across the circle, and Smith was coming in, gives the thumbs up, but that was really good defending from Josh White. Josh White coming in and just getting a vital touch. Josh White, who plays for New South Wales in the Australian Hockey League, even though he comes from Goulburn, and most of those players play for the ACT. And it goes again, great deflection from Smith, and what a save that was from Durst. Durst outstanding there. That was absolutely brilliant. Lowes played it in, and a deflection coming from Smith. And Durst now getting congratulations from McPherson, and quite rightly so. That was just out of shot, I think, but James McPherson, the captain, going back and congratulating his keeper. Danger, though, as Durst may be called into action again. Sasha Thomas shoots. Sasha Thomas scores. Vic Park have taken the lead again. Well, it was just the slip inside the circle that really caused the problem, and then it exposed the goal. And so what a response by Vic Park. They concede, and immediately they bounce back within a minute to reclaim their lead. Vic Park 2, Fremantle 1. Well, what a start to the third quarter we're seeing here. And Batterini, you could see he was the player that slipped his shoulders just slumped a little bit. He knew that that slip was costly because it just gave the space for Thomas to open up and get the shot. And there was very little Durst could do. Let's give credit to Sasha Thomas. A really good shot from him and a good finish. Sasha Thomas, he'll be celebrating his 21st birthday on the 28th of May. Hails from Narrabeen in the Wheatbelt region of Western Australia. Comes wide now for Vic Park and Bradley Clark. Keema annoyed that it just went off his stick over the side. Jacob Smith again. Smith, who's come to Vic Park via the Netherlands. He was playing over there and has then decided to stop off in Western Australia on his way back to New Zealand. Into the circle go Vic Park again. Good steal taken away by McCormick. Keema dispossessed, and Veitakanis, good pass down the line, and the ball dribbles along, and Morar in the end has to clean up and push it over the side from the edge of the circle. There's a good spell of pressure from Vic Park. That one luckily just ran off the stick of Tate all the way through to Taylor. Hulbert, certainly his teammates are really trying to give him the best send-off possible. Victory over the top of the table team would be a really great way to sign off your Premier 1 career. Butterini carries forward again for Fremantle. Butterini gets the free hit. South passes, plays on, but well, Mutet was just sitting on his heels watching that one. Very slow to react, and Butterini, you can see a little bit frustrated. Down the line it goes, and Brody Sayre grimaces because he really should have kept that one. A player of his caliber should have brought that under control, and again he just apologises to his teammate. Good defence coming across that time from Daniel Cope, making his debut today. He so easily, well, came so close to getting a goal. Brilliant save from Durst. Seen a couple of those in this match. And it is now Tate who's in around the back of the defence. Tate into the circle he goes, lays it back. Nobody was there. Keema arrived, but it had already fallen to Sasha Thomas, who was able to carry the ball out of the circle. There's good awareness from Tate. He laid it to exactly where they say you should put it, the penalty spot. But unfortunately for him, no one there for Fremantle, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy coming in. McCormick involved with Veitakanis. Hayden Veitakanis. Just having a hurry there was Bircher. Fremantle, and now it's Mutet. Has to go back again. Too many options. Letting that run was brilliant. Morar. Keema was well aware of the overlapping run from Morar, but it's a free hit earned by him as he was impeded as he came into the circle. So Viran Morar, also a New Zealander, came through King's College Auckland, used to play his hockey for Auckland as well, and won the National Hockey League over there. Riley Folds, lots of space for him. Brody Saar stood in front of him. Comes to McPherson. McPherson, a little bit of a touch off the stick of Tate. Ben Fournette, not many options for him. Has to go wide to Gabriel. Gabriel absolutely smashes that one down the line, and out of play it will go. So McPherson, who was in the far corner, has to come all the way back. And the umpire making sure, well, he's still stolen a good 4 or so metres. But I don't think anyone was going to complain. Riley Folds. Veitakanis trying to just stick poke and get the ball away from him. Folds forced backwards, feeds it down the line. Mutet looks to cut infield. That's good play from him. Pulls him away from Collins. Feeds it back to Kima. Kima was impeded, in my opinion, by the retreating Bircher. Not given by the umpires, and Tanemitsu looks to dribble out of defence. And that is some pass to pick out Jason Gabriel again from Collins. Gabriel, though, can't get past. Oh, and that's ricocheted up into the face of Veitakanus. And it was unfortunate. It was off Declan Spencer, I think. And Veitakanus, not surprisingly, going straight off. It's Andrew Veitakanus, I think. It was unfortunate. There was nothing ever deliberate in that. Two players just going for the ball as hard as they possibly could. And unfortunately, ricocheted up into the face of Andrew Veitakanus. And hopefully he will be okay. Actually, Chad Giles, I think, who had the collision. Good skills again in the midfield from Jacob Smith. Brody Sarnak. Well, it's always nasty to see an injury like that, and it just takes the edge off the game. It's a fiercely competitive game. Just watching the management down below of Jason Butcher and Rob Idle, and they were just checking on Veitakanus. They're back out now, pitch side, to monitor their team's progress. That is a really good pass forward, but unfortunately Tate and Moutet couldn't get on the end of it, and so it will be Vic Park 16 with a minute and a half left in the third quarter. McCormick, though, intercepts that. Can Fremantle find an equaliser before the final break? Bursting forward is Tate. Tate was impeded, so will be a Fremantle free hit. They're going back outside the circle. Good work under difficult circumstances. Strapped on the edge of the circle. Good work again by Vic Park defensively. There's Chad Giles trying to spark something for Fremantle. Riley folds now as we go into the last minute. McPherson, stick poke comes in, and it will be a free hit. Collins just a little bit overzealous with that challenge. McPherson comes back to Folds. Folds pulls away from Gabriel, but it's Collins who comes up with the ball, and he just hits that the length of the pitch. And once again, McCormick has to retreat to get the ball, and a green card has been issued to Ian Bircher, who doesn't look at all happy about it and has a few words as he leaves the field. So he'll be off for the final seconds of this third quarter and a good minute 50 of the final quarter. What a pass! Great save Hurd off his goal line. The ball is bobbling around, and eventually Vic Park managed to kill it. Well, Dominic Hurd came out, a brilliant save to deny Giles, and we go into the final break, and the scoreline has changed since half time. It is now Vic Park 2, Fremantle 1. Welcome back to the final quarter of this match between Vic Park and Fremantle in the men's Premier Grade. This is what it's all about. It's been a feisty affair, it's been entertaining, it's been fast, it's been furious, and it's been thoroughly enjoyable. The last quarter about to get underway. Vic Park leading by 2-1. Can they hang on to that lead and give Phil Hulbert, playing his last game and his 450th for the club, a fitting farewell? Jacob Smith gets the final quarter underway. Can Fremantle find a way back? They managed to get 1 goal in the third quarter, but within a minute conceded another. So lost the lead again as Vic Park stole it back. Played wide, Bradley Clark now, down the line he goes. And this is Hayden Vaitakanis. We saw his brother having to go off after a blow to the face late in that third quarter. And of course, let's not forget that Vic Park are currently down to 10 players. Ian Birchall will not be back on for about another minute. So Fremantle have a player advantage. The question is, can they make it count? Certainly Vic Park taking their time. Fremantle taking their time. Coming forward. Benford will look to make that run, but it was almost good work, and in the end, really good defensive play carried out superbly. Sasha Thomas played it off the foot. That should be a free hit. It will be a free hit. Didn't look as if it was going to be given, and Jacob Smith was very quick to get the umpire to put his whistle up to his mouth. Brody Saar runs into trouble. This time it is a free hit to Fremantle. Declan Spencer carries it forward. Slight touch off the stick of Tate, but Butterini runs in Tanemitsu. That's good defence by him. Looked to sweep it clear, but picked up by Brody Saar, who lifted it dangerously, brought down again by Spencer. Spencer keeping the attack alive for Fremantle. Pressure from Sasha Thomas. McPherson. Vaitakanis gives him a little push. McPherson wants to get on with it quickly. Vaitakanis eventually retreats the required distance. McCormick is looking for movement up ahead. There wasn't a great deal, so it comes wide to McPherson. Down the line it goes. Looking to turn is Tate. Tate loses out to Benford, but Benford gets it over the side. There's still a little bit of tangling after the ball's gone between all the players at the moment. There's a little bit in this match. And expected to go all the way to the wire. McCormick slides it down the line. McPherson's got space. Into the circle he goes now. Along the baseline, still going. Fires it in. It's dribbled in. It's gone in the goal. Well, how that went in, that will be disappointing for Dominic Hurd, because I'm sure he thought he had that covered. But the man to get the final touch was the big fella, Kieran Abbott. And so Fremantle have managed to pull level once again. Abbott with a really telling touch, and McPherson was just given too much space along the baseline and was allowed to progress towards the goal. So you feel there's still more in this match. I've just got that feeling about it. There's something in the air. The big question is, who is going to get the victory? Will it be Vic Park? It's going to be a free hit to Fremantle, not taken from the right place. And you just wonder, Fremantle, they're not called the Magpies for nothing. Magpies are renowned for stealing things, aren't they? Or is that Cuckoos? Anyway, the Magpies looking to try and nick something out of this match. If they do, it will be a real sterling effort for them. If Vic Park managed to get it for Phil Hulbert in his last game, again it will be a deserving victory. Both teams have really given us a match to savour. It'd be fair to say that Johan Durst has made more saves than Dom Hurd in goal for Fremantle. And therefore, Vic Park have created the better opportunities. Butterini dispossessed by Brodie Sarr. Brodie Sarr looking to combine with Smith, came off the foot of Butterini, so it'll be a free hit. Hulbert still got the fight in him after all these games. Plays the ball out wide now. Sasha Thomas, who's been so good for Vic Park today, just lost possession of that one. But it will be Brodie Sarr from the side. Vic Park looking to reclaim their lead. They've had it twice. That's great defence from McCormick. And the free hit, though, goes the way of Fremantle. Josh White plays it forward. Chad Giles on the overlap, but great work from Tanamitsu. Tim Bottler, though, was determined to get there. That was a little bit naughty from Hayden Lowes, I thought, and into the foot of Tanamitsu, who lifted his foot to prevent that being played forward by McPherson. No complaints from Vic Park. High fives all around as the penalty corner has been given. A little bit of indiscipline there from Mio Tanamitsu. And he has been known to have those little moments in games in his international career as well. And he's going to feel as sick as anything if this goes in. Butterini strolls towards the huddle. McPherson again going to the baseline. Tate waits at the top of the circle. Alongside him is Giles, but I'm sure it will just be Tate. He's the lone drag flicker. Comes to Tate, he flicks it low, but it's gone the wrong side of the post if you're a Fremantle fan. So they couldn't make the penalty corner count. The big question is now, as we go into the final 9 minutes of this match, are we going to see a winner, or is it going to be the first draw of the season for Fremantle? They've still possession again. Oh, lovely work from Bottler. Bottler just threw the legs to Chad Giles. Giles advancing towards the circle, but well read by Bircher. Feeds it out to Aidan Lowes, who at full stretch looks to take on Folds. Lovely touch from Folds. Still in play though, and Lowes keeps going, and eventually over the baseline goes. Long corner. No draws so far for Fremantle, but 3 so far in their first 7 games for Vic Park, so they really wouldn't want another draw. Win would be just what the doctor ordered, but I'm sure they would take it. Taylor down to Brodie Sarr. Sarr gets a free hit outside the circle. South passes. Hulbert steals it. Up it goes. It looked as if it just caught the body there of Spencer. And it's Fremantle that get the 16. Fremantle coming in very close quarters, and in the end it's just got a touch. In fact, no, it hasn't got a touch. So Fremantle, and certainly Declan Spencer felt there was a touch. I must admit, I thought there was just a feather of a touch off the Vic Park stick, and that was just lifted by Collins straight into Spencer, and he feels justice has been done. Butterini now is going to be closed down quickly, so he releases the ball back to Spencer. Spencer takes a deflection off Sasha Thomas over the baseline. Long corner, Fremantle. 7 minutes left. Butterini plays on into the sunshine, and Riley Folds, lucky he's got that big fringe to keep the sun out of his eyes. McCormick advances, pulls away from Smith, gets over the 23 metres line. That's nosebleed country for Darryl McCormick. Lovely turn from Declan Spencer. Another long corner to Fremantle. McPherson stops the ball, looking for options. South passes again. takes on Vaitakanis. We're looking to just dink the ball forward to Butterini. Vaitakanis got a touch on it, so it's another long corner to Fremantle. McCormick again. Plays the ball backwards this time to Josh White. Riley Folds, first time, plays it down the line to Tim Bottler. Tim Bottler has got to get past the first defender, and it's played over the side. Collins just playing that one over the side, and Bottler self-passes, in it goes. That was important defensive work from Benfield, because lurking behind him was Declan Spencer, ready to try and push that into the goal. And Vic Park just belt that up the field. It'll be a 16. Are we going to see a winner in this match? It's really on a knife edge. Fremantle's certainly pushing for it. And of course, when they push players forward, it means they run the risk of being caught themselves on the counter-attack. Marat goes back. Folds comes infield. Folds still going. And he gets the free hit. Sasha Thomas not happy about it. In fact, most of his teammates not happy about it. McPherson closed down by Gabriel. Mutet. He's got to get past Benfield. Good stick work from him. Eventually keeps the ball on the end of his stick. Gets a little bump from Benfield, so that's a free hit for Fremantle. Right in the corner. Mutet will leave it for McPherson. Short pass, Butterini. Good turn from him. Good defence though from Bircher. Bircher, who of course was just like Butterini, seen as a replacement for Bevan George, as it's Jason Gabriel comes forward. Played it back to Jacob Smith. Smith goes across field into the sunlight, and now it's Clark. Plays it forward into the path of Aidan Lowes. Lowes back to Clark. Will Vic Park find a winner? Collins has been so instrumental. Stolen away from him by Butterini. Nobody forward for Fremantle, so Butterini has to almost do it himself. Taylor, though, swinging his stick around Butterini's body, and eventually the free hit goes the player coach for Fremantle's way. Keema needed to bring that under control, but it's Bradley Clark who's forced along to the baseline. Carried that over the baseline. Well, that is a bad mistake from Bradley Clark, and it could be a costly one. Riley Folds plays on immediately from the long corner. That's a really good tackle in the end. And looking to play on a little bit too quickly. Well, we are approaching the final 3 minutes. Taylor, acres of space now. Hammers that one forward. Brought under control by Tanamitsu. Feeds it to Brody Sarr. Sarr has a little bit of space outside the 23 metres. Gabriel looked to turn Riley Folds, and who's that colliding with the umpire? It's McCormick. Long corner to Vic Park. Clark helps it forward and out wide. Into the circle it goes, but Jacob Smith couldn't keep it in play. Fremantle wanting to get on with play quickly. They want to get the ball up to the far end. 2.5 minutes left. Are we going to see a winner from either side? Riley Folds, good touch from him as well, but Benfield may take that away. He does indeed. And a good block coming in. And you get the feeling that it's Vic Park more than anyone who are looking for the winner. Fremantle almost happy to accept that they've got a draw from this match after being behind twice. Vic Park though, and Taylor on the ball now, wanting to finish this match with a bit of style for Phil Hilbert, playing his 450th and last game. That was a foul in the back there, and it will be a card, a green card. Well, that was silly in the end, coming from James Collins, who's had such a good game for Vic Park. Now it's Tate. So there is a chance for Fremantle with the extra player, McPherson. It goes off Sasha Thomas, wanting the ball quickly. McPherson looking for the lead. He goes into the air. Butterini's round the back, brought it down inside the circle, lays it square. Chance for a shot. Good block. Well, really good defending. Keema right in front of goal, picked out perfectly. But brilliant defence once more from Vic Park. Are we going to see a winner in this match? Bircher cracks it forward. McCormick will mop up after it was half stopped by Josh White. Riley Folds plays it forward. Can he keep it in play? The man who got the equaliser, Abbott. He's in the corner. He flicks it in. He gets it inside the circle. Clark plays it out wide. Abbott misses his tackle. Somehow got it back while on the ground. Appeals for a penalty corner. And they are met with the whistle and the signal that Fremantle were looking for. And we are in the final minute. Fremantle win their 6th penalty corner of the match. Surely they cannot steal the game now. Well, everybody surrounding Matthew Butterini. Just 2 players back inside the Fremantle half. Riley Folds is back there. So too Josh White. And they're calling for 2 more players. As Tate and Abbott again at the top of the circle, making his way back defensively is Chad Giles. It's Tate that will get the chance. Tate flicks, Tate scores! Would you believe it? Finally, in the final minute, Fremantle take the lead for the first time in the match. Nick Tate firing home from a penalty corner. Talk about the late show. What a finish. Well, they got the penalty corner and they managed to convert it, and it is Fremantle that look as if they're going to spoil the party for Phil Hulbert, although Victoria Park are into the D, looking for a penalty corner of their own. Swept clear by Riley Folds, taken into the corner, and Fremantle wind the clock down, and Vic Park players sink to their knees in disappointment. What a finish. Well, they'd made a bit of a hash of the penalty corners previously. Great work by the first runners from Vic Park, but that time, when it needed to be on point, Nick Tate delivered. And Fremantle, who came into this round top of the league, having lost just 1 match, win again. And for Vic Park, it is a 3rd or a 2nd defeat and a 3rd defeat of the season, and not the farewell that Phil Hulbert was hoping for in his 450th game and his last game for the club. But what a match we've witnessed. The final score here, Vic Park 2, Fremantle 3.